Hey YouTube, this is Dawson Rider here with a review of S.H.Figuarts Ryuranger from Gosei Sentai Dairanger, not to be confused with Tenso Sentai Goseiger. Sentai? What is that, like Antai's brother? I don't know where I'm going. Anyway, so let's jump right in with everyone's favorite part, the packaging. I know that one guy will make obnoxious comments about how boring it is, but that's just how we do things here. So yeah, the packaging, pretty typical for what we've seen from Sentai, kind of neat. Got a picture of Ryuranger here on the side, it says his name here obviously. You get the show logo and all the names there. Obviously this is where the figure was. On the side here you get another picture of him, sort of done in red. On the back here, it shows what you can do with them. Description of Figuarts, molding option parts, movable parts, bonus parts, so just all the stuff you can do with your figure. And on the other side, a picture of him, and that's about it. So, and then he does come with an array of accessories. So here, obviously, you have all of his hands. You get, you know, spanking hands, slapping hands, holding various weapon hands, the closed fists which are on him, one of which I have on him, the other which is right here. You get a variety of weapons. If I get the names wrong, I'm sorry. I have actually watched Dairanger, but I actually didn't pay too much attention to the weapon names, but I did make sure to look it up before this. I believe this is the Star Sword, but it's pretty nicely detailed. So pretty cool. And then you got this here, which is the Star Cutter. This is what Wikipedia said. So, and then here's its handle. Not like I broke it and then did a magic trick, but you got that. You got it for its like holstered mode. And then the Die Buster, their gun, which is just a combination of those two things I just showed you. So yeah, cool. And then, special to this, you get the China Red parts. China Red is the version from Akibaranger Season 2, when Dairanger was temporarily erased from existence. So you've got like the same helmet here, just with some different eyes. And then you have this little symbol to switch out on him, which I will be showing momentarily. And then you've got these weapons over here, which come in the back. You get, I think, the die rod, which it makes sense. I mean, you're going to make things die with it, so that makes sense. So, pretty cool. It's a large weapon, like large weapons. No, but it's a pretty neat weapon to display them with. And then the Dairinkens, yeah, they're like bladed wheel things that are really cool. But yeah, it's quite a variety of weapons for him, so that's really nice. You have a lot of choices of how you want to use this guy. Now this is a completely stupid thing I want to point out here before we get to the figure, but you know, people might understand this if you collect Figuarts. I hate this new method of packaging where you place this on top of it and have to peel it off. It used to be this dome that went all over it. I mean, first they had it so you had the tape there, and then they removed it, and it was nice and convenient. But now with this, when you pry it off, all the pieces have a tendency to go everywhere. I've been meaning to point that out for like ever, so I just felt like I should point it out. So anyhow, I'm actually going to zoom in a bit before we do this. But so let's take a look at the figure itself. First up with the details. Now here is his helmet. This already fell off. I have some problems with it. It really bothers me. It looks a little bit too fat. Because Ryuranger's helmet is a little skinnier from my memory. And it just looks a little fat, and it looks like he doesn't have a neck. There needs to be a healthy balance between these figures that have too long of necks and too short. So it looks really stubby. And I feel like the helmet overall actually looks a little cheap. Usually they do a pretty good job of capturing these helmets. It's not like it's horrible, but even look at the box. It looks a little bit better. It looks a little thinner. Even let's take a look at the pictures here. Doesn't it look a little bit thinner and just a little bit better in these pictures? Like, look at that. But yeah, it just looks a little fat compared to the pictures, and it just looks like a cheaper quality compared to what we've been getting. And then moving to the shoulders here, I can't remember if this is the one they've been using for the G-Ranger ones. I think this is the Bokenger mold. But the shoulders are better than the ones that I hate from the Shinkenger and Dekaranger ones, but these really bother me because they're so much larger. I feel like in this figure you can really notice it. And they have like a sharp edge to them. It's not like you're going to cut yourself, but the sort of pointed edge makes them more noticeable, and that's just kind of a nitpick. But other than that, you know, like a lot of them, his details are pretty basic. You've got the primarily white chest here, the little symbol, which looks fine. The colors all look fine. There might be some color discrepancies, but I don't notice them right away. They look fine. You've got his belt here. Obviously, his legs are just a color. It's always weird. Like, look, check out the details. Look, here's some red paint. And then you got his boots with just these ankle things around them. But pretty basic. I mean, they got the paint fine, but he just looks so weird with his stubby head and his weird shoulders. Articulation, you know, you still get the same standard great articulation. You got a 360 ball joint here, swiveling. You get a double elbow joint, swiveling at his hands. You got a 360 ball joint here. His leg's a little loose. Double knee joint, swiveling. You get swiveling at the foot on a nice ball joint, so you get some all-around solid motion. And then your toe bending action joint. You've obviously got articulation here at the waist and at the chest. And then the head obviously has a great range of motion. And he looks a little bit better when I do that. But yeah, he's just a little disappointing. I guess I'll get more into that in a second. I want to show the China red parts before I forget it. And after I get these out rather, obviously you can see there were some holsters on them which are removable. I have a lot of problems with this one staying in, so I'm actually just going to leave it out if that's cool. Instead of just falling off every 5 seconds. So to switch these parts out, it's a lot easier than the powerful Rangers from Dairanger. You just switch the helmet out, which can actually be a pain sometimes. I know I've had several Figuarts heads pop off, and it can be a pain to line it up. Come on. Now, damn it, I shouldn't have said that. Well, if I would have said it would be easy. Well, actually, I did say it would be easy. You guys remember. That was like 3 seconds ago. And that caused it to now be difficult. Come on, man. Just get your head on, man. It's not fun. It's not fun to not have a head. You can't see anything. You're really awkward at parties. And now people are waiting on us, man. They're counting on us. Should I just pretend it's on? It's on. Yeah, that's on enough. Okay, so for this one, you're going to want to have fingernails. You got to sort of pry this out and kind of go all around it. See, I'm glad I didn't trim my fingernails yet. And that pops out. Don't lose it. And then what's really nice is it's actually got a key shape to the peg and the hole, so you can't mess up the direction you're putting it. So yeah, there you got the China red parts. So that's a really neat feature. So if you really loved the Akibaranger episode, which actually the Dairanger one was one of my favorites that season, then you can do this. Oh, his head actually did go on. I thought I was just faking it. Man, don't you love it when you thought you were faking it, but it was real? I feel like that's sexual somehow. But so yeah, now I'm going to switch them back, and then I'll talk a little bit. So yeah, to be honest with you, I'm actually pretty disappointed in this figure. I was really excited for this. I've just recently watched Dairanger a few months back. I really enjoyed it. I've always dug the suits quite a bit. Wow, his whole neck came off. And I was actually really excited for this figure. Because I always wanted a decent figure from these suits even before I watched it, but then after watching it, you know, you get that thing where you're watching the show and you want stuff from it. And the pictures all made it look pretty cool, and I was pretty disappointed in it. The figure itself is overall okay in terms of build, I mean like solid. He seems a little looser around the legs than some of my other Sentai Figuarts. But his weird stumpy head really bothers me, both like in the size of it, and the way the neck makes him look stumpy, and in the details. Like I said, usually the Sentai helmets look pretty awesome, and they do a fairly decent job, even if sometimes they're a little messed up proportion-wise, excuse me. They usually look pretty good, but this helmet just looks cheaper and stubby. The way the shoulders are used for this one, I actually would have went with a different style. They really pop out. It just looks like a very awkward figure. So yeah, like I said, very disappointed in this one, to be honest. This is probably still, unless there's something I don't know about, the best articulated figure of Ryuranger there is out there, because there's really not many figures. There's like some vinyl, some random smaller ones that sort of are like the old MMPR bike figures, and some such stuff like that, some statue ones, but there's really not anything else out there for it, so it's difficult because I don't really want to recommend him, but he's probably, if you really want an articulated figure from Dairanger, especially Ryuranger, this is honestly your best option right now, unless I'm forgetting something, but I don't think there's anything else. So, honestly, I can't really recommend him. He's probably my least favorite Sentai figure art, which is really sad, like I said, because I really liked Dairanger. I really like Ryuranger. I love his design. I liked the character. So, yeah, if you are collecting Sentai figure arts, I would honestly pass on this one. There is a lot better Sentai figures. I know sometimes it's difficult for that because sometimes you have favorite series, and you want the characters from that, but if you are not dead set on getting Ryuranger, then I would honestly go for another Sentai figure art. The Go Kaijers are great, the Zyuranger ones are awesome, the Jetman ones are fantastic. I would go for another one. I'm sorry, it's just a disappointment for me. But so, I'm sorry I apologize so much. Now I'm sorry I apologize for apologizing, and now I'm gonna go. So until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at WritersRangersRambles.com. Until next time, it's Dawson Ryder, signing out.